Hello, everyone. So the Student Art Podcast is sponsored by the Rookies. There's simply no better way to launch your career and start sharing your amazing work online. Throughout their website, you can create your own portfolio, enter lots of contests that take place all year round, and has an incredible community for non-professional digital artists. From hobbyists, students, self-taught artists, to even people wanting to make a career change, the Rookies community brings everyone together, allowing you to be surrounded by people on the same journey as you. So if you want to showcase your portfolio, grow as an artist, and track your progress, sign up to the Rookies today. Hello everyone and welcome to the Student Art Podcast. I'm your host Ross Baxter and today is episode 60 of the series. The podcast is a weekly series where I bring on guests from the film and game industries to talk about their journey and thoughts on student education. Today on the show we have amazing guests for you. We have character artist Helena Shin, and thank you so much for coming on the show. Before we get into the podcast, make sure to give Helena a follow on her social media platforms. Her portfolio links are in the description below, as always. And with that said, let's get into the podcast. So first question I always ask Helena is, tell us a wee bit about yourself. So who you are and what you do.
Okay, hello everyone. First, I'd like to start by thanking everyone for being listening. I'm not a native speaker and I have been studying English in Korea for a few years. So please understand me, everyone, even if I'm not fluent in English. I'll do my best until the podcast is over. Okay, shall we begin? Hello, everyone. Let me introduce myself briefly. I am a character artist, Helena Shin, living in Seoul, Korea. I started 3D in 24 and I have worked for a game studios. Then, for 5.5 years, my career was broken. I worked as a staff at a pharmacy and I worked at a smart and department store. And I came back in 2016. Then I have worked for an animation studios. Recently, I've been working as a writer, lecturer, and freelancer since last year. Now, I'm looking for an opportunity to work in the US. Well, I'm so happy to meet Ross and all people here today, does it? Okay, Ross, I have a question. How did you get to know me at first? Art Station? I'm really curious.
Perfect. Hello. I'm a big fan, once again, of your artwork. So I'm a big fan of Lord of the Rings, and I came across your amazing Thranduil and Elrond piece. And actually, since seeing your work, I knew I had to have you on the podcast, and it was actually very inspiring seeing your artwork.
Wow, really? It's very interesting. Yes. I was really surprised when you first proposed a podcast. We live across the ocean this way, but it's amazing that we can meet on websites and social media today, isn't it?
Well, that's the thing. That's why I've always loved the internet. It allows you to connect with people from all around the world. It allows you to build relationships with people that, most importantly, have the same passion as you.
Yes, I'm agree with you, Ross. Yes.
So, when it comes to obviously character art and so forth, one of the questions I'd like to ask is your passion for fantasy and just character art in general. What got you into character art?
I majored in animation in university. At the time, our university has first 3D class was opened in 23, but I wasn't interested in it and didn't study hard, didn't attend the class. I was stupid. Why did I do that? As a result, I got a failing grade in 3D. Oh my gosh, yes. However, I thought I had to study at CG school first to graduate from university in January 24. And then here's the first turning point in my CG life. Okay, please attention from now on. Back then, I was completely fascinated by 3D when I saw the works of a world famous character artist in Korea and abroad in CG school. I was looking at someone's character work. I decided to become a character artist. Who is someone? Sua Lee. Yes, Sua Lee. That's her. Yes, you know her? Yes.
That's amazing. Yeah, can't go wrong.
Yes, she is currently a lead character artist at Naughty Dog Game Studio, and she made Ellie of The Last of Us too. Wow,
Oh my
yes,
gosh.
yeah. Long time ago, she was already a super rock star in the early 20s CG industry. She is my hero from the past to the present. Recently, I keep in touch with her from time to time. I cannot believe it.
That's amazing. Like being able to talk to your idols and keep in touch with them. Like that's incredible. When it comes to like character art in general, why do you love making characters?
Ever since I was a kid, I loved drawing cartoons. Strangely, I feel alive every time whenever I make a character. No matter how hard or lonely I am, creating a character is really exciting and gives me the power to stand up again. I don't know why. Maybe it is God's gift to me. Yes.
That's awesome. That's really cool. What are you like to make and why?
Uh, I like to make artwork related to characters. It doesn't matter whether it's a painting, 2D, or 3D, or realistic, and so on. I just making a character is happy by itself. Yes, that's it.
Definitely, definitely, because like you have to obviously enjoy doing what you're doing, and like that's the thing about character art. There's so many things that make characters unique, and so when it comes to
Mhm.
character art, what makes a good character piece?
I think makes a good character with good attractiveness, characteristics, and sensitivity. So I think that in order to make a character better, you need to have a deeply love and interested in the character you are making so you can observe the characteristics and make them more attractive. To sum up, for a character artist, a character is a they are a child, boyfriend, girlfriend, or fiance. Isn't it easy to think like this? Whenever I make a character, I always think of it as my boyfriend, my family, or myself. Yes, of course, the company has to work as fast as possible for the deadline. Nevertheless, when you make a character, you have to dedicate it. Yes, it is the same thing, artisan spirit. This makes a small but huge difference. It's really important for a character artist and CG artist.
Perfect.
Yes.
So, like once again, like as always, when it comes to characters coming on the podcast, one of the main questions I like to
Mm.
ask is actually about style and diversity. So, do you have a specific style?
No, I don't have a specific style. I pursue many different styles like chameleon because working in various styles is not boring and really fun. Cartoon, realistic, and other styles all change from time to time while I just enjoy doing my work. It will be easy to understand if you look at my personal works from the past to the present on my portfolio website. Of course, right now I'm focusing on realistic works. Yes.
Oh, like your realistic work is so amazing, so incredible. I love it. So keep doing what you're doing. It's so awesome.
Yeah, thank you.
So, speaking of like, obviously, when it comes to
Mm,
art, one of the main things that we like to obviously ask as artists is inspiration. So, like, where do you find your inspiration? Is it movies? Like,
mm.
whereabouts? Like, how do you find your inspiration?
Okay, I tend to be inspired by movies and music. Of course, sometimes it is inspired by others' works. Interestingly, one day while walking in the park, an image of a suddenly completed work comes to my mind. Then come back my home. I collect reference images by searching on the website and looking looking at the latest technologies in CG news. And oh, I have to test these skills in this work. Come on, Helena, you can do it. Yes. Then I act and work on right away. Yes.
Awesome, yeah, because like that's the thing. It's like there's so many ways to gather inspiration, and
Mm,
that's perfect to see how you do it. Because it's a question that so many people ask all the time on the podcast.
yeah.
So one of the main questions as well, a lot of people like to ask is finding out the guest's favorite artist. So who's your favorite artist?
Of course, a character artist is Soa Lee. She is my hero. And another favorite character artist is Jenny Liu. She was former art director in Call of Duty of Sledgehammer Games. Currently, she has working for NCSoft Games Company in Korea as an art director of new game project. Soa Lee and Jenny Liu, they have been really amazing character artists from the past to the present, and they are giving a lot of inspirations to me and women around the world. Sometimes they always encourage it and rooting for me by messages. Therefore, I want to be a senior artist like them to junior artists. And I respect all character artists, CG artists over 40 because since senior artists have pioneered the CG world and industry, now they are junior artists, including me. We have to all respect them. Also, we have to inspire, help, and lead junior artists like senior artists. We have to live responsibility and really hard.
Perfect. Because when it comes to obviously like what Helena is saying, it's all about respect and appreciating everyone, and it's such an important aspect of the industry. Before I continue, as always, Helena has written an incredible article for 3dtotal.com. So everyone who's tuning in today, as always, make sure to check the link in the description down below and check out the article. And once again, make sure to give her a follow. As always, Helena,
Mm-hmm.
can you describe your character art workflow for VFX and just in general?
Okay. Okay, making fan art in 3D is really fun and interesting. Above all, when it's finished, I feel really fulfilling when I get the enthusiastic response of CG people and many of fans of their star. What's hard about this is that it's an expression of likeness. It's easy to denigrate a work if it doesn't resemble it at all, no matter how well it's made. But it is always exciting to make a fan art, isn't it?
Definitely.
Yes, above all, the fan art of Thranduil and Kylo Ren is one of my most treasured fan art because thanks to this work, I was able to appear on this podcast today. From now on, I'm going to describe and explain to my character art workflow for VFX. Mhm. Okay, first, I usually use Maya, ZBrush, Foundry Mari, Substance Painter, and Designer when I create the character. Also, the workflow and process are no different from other artists. I typically search on the website for reference images. Then I find information about the latest technologies and programs on CG channels and always check this news first when I wake up in the morning. Also, I study and test the latest technology at home through YouTube and reference books. My favorite render and hair plugin is Arnold Render and XGen Hair plugin because it is really better than install and set up other render and hair program in Maya. That's why I use Arnold and XGen. That's all. I'm not kidding. Yes, I'm serious. Yes.
Awesome.
When I told this story to other people, they were all laugh. Oops.
No, that's amazing because it's great to see the software that you use, and
Mhm.
it's like you use a lot of software that I use as well, and it's great to see and to show to people that there's consistency for a lot of character artists out there. So everyone who's
Mm.
tuning in, make sure to check out those software and give them a go.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah.
as always, as an artist, what do you wish you learned when studying at university?
I majored the animation in university in 21 and in 23 the first 3D class were opened in my university. At the time, I learned about the basics of animation and image and cultural knowledge in university. Of course, I learned professional CG at the CG school, yes. And I cannot remember because it was so long time ago. Maybe a lot has changed these days in university, yes.
Like I'm glad you said that because so many things change and it's about keeping up to date and realizing that. So everyone who comes on the podcast, things change all the time. So once
Mm-hmm.
again, listening to that main point that she was saying there because it's such an important one. Um, as always, is there any main skills you think all students should learn? And when it comes to the podcast as well, is there any main skills related to character art that you think people should know?
Okay. Above all, it is much helpful to work with 3D if you learn drawing in order to create a character. And it's good to have a habit of observing all the time. Also, the habit of observing closely is that detailed work is possible soon. So I skip another explanation because heard it a lot from other people. Yes, skills are important to be a great artist. Yes, but most importantly, you have to go through trial and error. In a nutshell, to become and grow a great artist, you must fail a lot. If you take a steady step without comparing yourself to others, you will grow a lot. Mm, there is a saying, Rome was not built in a day. That's it. This is the best skill I can advise to students.
Uh,
Yes.
I completely agree. Things take time, and it's accepting the fact that it's a process. So everyone is tuning in, realize that things don't
Mm,
happen overnight, and appreciate the craft that you're doing and just have fun with it. So
mhm.
one of the main questions I like to ask as well is, or one of the main subjects is actually social and networking skills.
Social and networking skills are important to everyone, not just CG artists for social life. However, most importantly, don't be obsessed with networking. If you have great skills, people automatically approach you, whether you want it or not. For example, when my career was broken a long time ago, I automatically lost contact with 90% of the company and CG industry people and disappeared me. But when I came back to the CG industry and became famous among the CG people, I got to know a lot CG people and personally contacted the best CG artist I had respected. Of course, a better personality than your skills comes first, no matter how good you are with your skills, because people eventually want to work with people of good personality, kindness, and manners. Yes.
Oh, I completely agree. It's at the end of the day, it's all about respecting people and appreciating the people around you. So because if you don't respect people, then things aren't going to work the best way as possible. And
Mm-hmm.
once again, like that's such an important aspect that everyone should follow and appreciate the most. So
Mm-hmm.
one of the questions as well would be great to talk about is there a lot of work opportunities in Korea?
Mm-hmm.
If not, is there any skills you wish you learned to get to America and also Europe?
There are always opportunities in Korea. Of course, the employment rate is never low. These days, the word artist skills has been upgraded, and I think they are all superior. What do I want to learn to get a job in America or Europe? Maybe English.
Awesome. That's brilliant.
Well, if I work in the US or Europe, I want to know and learn about the pipeline and management there. Yes.
Amazing. Thank you so much for saying that because it's one of the
Hmm.
questions that I think is really important for a lot of people who've been tuning into the podcast. So one of the main questions when it comes to the podcast, when it comes to education side of things, did university prepare you for the industry?
In Korea, there are many universities and CG schools where they can learn CG. They are excellent professors and instructors, and they produce excellent students. A long time ago, I also learned CG to upgrade skills at the CG school after work. However, a sad thing is that the artwork style of students gets unified. In other words, it is always a pity to not have individuality. It is the same with Korea and other countries. I know it's unedible. So after graduating from school or college, you have to always think seriously about your artwork style and skill. Yes, that's it. Yes.
That's amazing. Thank you so much, by the way, for coming on the podcast. It's been great having you on the show and answering all
음,
these incredible questions. As always, everyone who's tuning in, the most important part is obviously going to follow Helena's work. So, as always, all the links are in the description below. And check her work on ArtStation. Once again, the links of her article as well that I mentioned in the middle of the podcast, make sure to check them out.
I was so happy and honored to be in his podcast today. In the meantime, I practiced speaking English to be good at podcast. I hope my thoughts will reach you well. Please look forward to my work and activities in the future. I love you all. Thank you so much. Bye.
You did amazing. Thank you so much for coming on. And as always, folks, we will see you guys in the next episode. Bye for now.